So do you find it strange nowadays with like the change in technology, the rise of AI?
I mean, we've just been talking about process, right? And I think AI is often used to try and skip the process. And I just don't think game development is a medium where you can skip the process. I'm not really like a find your fun developer, right? Like I don't go away and like experiment with lots of things. And I don't think like I follow that kind of philosophy, just because personally what I like to do is have like a paper design that I'm really, really confident about. And then I challenge myself to implement that design in full without questioning it, because that's what I found is my only way to progress. But that process of implementing it, there are so many micro decisions within that, especially as a solo developer. And then as a writer, you know, a huge part of my games is writing. Citizen Sleeper 2, I just passed 250K words written on it, right? And writing is it's an infinite number of micro decisions that your brain is making and that you can't think about, you can't inherently make. So for me, like using AI for writing, for example, it's like, but how would you know like who the character is? I discover characters through writing them, through finding their voice and then hearing it, and then they tell me what to write.
I very strongly agree with you saying that you know it circumvents the process, and it's like the process is that's where the magic happens, is the process. It's all those little decisions. And you know, at Cyan, I think we learned the lesson the hard way very, very early on. We used a couple of textures in one of our games that were AI generated, and we thought we were doing a good thing by calling it out in the credits, making it very clear that like a very small percentage of things were AI generated. We wanted to give credit where credit is due, and there was a huge backlash. And it's like we put our hand on the oven, right? We learned the hard way, and it's completely reshaped our approach to AI tools, and now it's very, very much like not at all something that we want in our process. And you're removing intent, and intent is everything.
I don't know, it's for me, it's kind of like Guitar Hero. It's like, do you want to feel like a musician without learning to play an instrument? You know?
Yeah.
So there might be an upside in that maybe someone did end up picking up music because they needed that feeling. And then maybe that inspired them to like actually go the distance with it. But putting that aside, no, I don't think for content creation, I don't think it's there's probably something to be said about some tools of like if you're going to do a manual thing of renaming files, you can automate some
that's
things.
different. That's different.
But as far as like just the creative aspect of it, I think even if to someone it's a tool, I think at the end of the day, anything that will rise up, you mentioned vulnerability, is that's the crux of it. So even if it can maybe facilitate some things, it will always be when the same amount of effort is put in at the end of the day, whether or not anything has been used. So.